The Uttar Pradesh Police insists the Sambhal violence during the court-ordered survey at the mosque was well planned and orchestrated. They claim there is a money trail. There was careful planning that went into the attack that took place on the security forces, on the police. The plot apparently was also to target Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain, pleading the case of the Hindu side. So let's decode this massive chart sheet that's been accessed by India today. Joining me on India First is Krishna Kumar Bishnoi, the Superintendent of Police Sambhal. He's played a very key role in these investigations. Mr. Bishnoi, what is the evidence that you've been able to gather to suggest that the attack on the police was well planned?
Good evening, Gaurav. First of all, I would like to tell that there are 12 cases which were registered with regards to the violence which took place on 24th of November 2024. 7 cases were registered in Kotwali, Sambhal, and 4 cases were registered in the another police station called Nakasa, because incident did not only take place at one place, but they were scattered in different places, and 1 zero FIR was registered in Moradabad. In all total, there were 12 cases which were registered related to the violence. 6 of them have been charged sheeted so far, which pertain to the one which was CO Anuj Chaudhary. He was fired upon and he got hit. My PRO and myself, we got hit. So there was one case registered with regards to that. One of our sub-inspector called Shah Faisal, his Choki Prabhari Deepa Sarai IC outpost, and his bike bullet was put to fire along with a leopard, which was also the police's bike. So that way, overall, cases were registered by police, and out of which 6 have been charge sheeted. In these cases where they were charge sheeted, the persons who had fired upon from the roofs, the ladies who had thrown stones from the roofs of their houses, along with the persons who got together, almost I can say 2,000 to 3,000 persons. They assembled and they pelted stones at police. They hurled the tear gas shells back at police. They had their faces covered. They had different kind of paste which they had applied on their faces. And along with that, when the sound of the stun grenade and the chili grenade and everything was there, they also fired upon. The policemen also got hurt. In and all, 29 policemen and 1 SDM got hurt, and out of which 3 had sustained bullet injuries and 3 had sustained fractures, which also include frontal bone fracture.
Mr. Bishnoi, what can you tell me about the money trail? Where did the money come from? There is some talk about money being transferred into accounts of people in Sambhal. Where did the money come from? What was the purpose?
So yesterday, police caught one person called Gulam, son of Mukhtar. He's a resident of Deepa Sarai. He's a notorious auto lifter of Delhi NCR. In a year, he claims that almost 400 to 500 luxury vehicles they are stealing from Delhi NCR and nearby districts. And what they do is they steal these vehicles, and then they, by hacking these, they collect it from the dark web, and then they take it to the northeast or on the borders of India. And that's where they get the smuggling of the arms as well. And then these arms are sold across the country. So this fellow was caught with 1 9mm pistol, 2 32 bore pistols, and 1 country-made weapon called Tamancha, along with the cartridges from England, Germany, Czechoslovakia, USA, and Pakistan Ordnance made factory-made cartridges. So that was a startling revelation for us as well. And when we asked him, where did you get all these the cartridges and all? So basically, the exchange of the auto lifting, the selling these Fortuners and some Brezza and these kind of vehicles, and in return getting these illegal arms and then supplying them to different parts of the country. That is where most of their revenue comes from. And this revenue is only these people most of the time they use to motivate people to take up arms. In this particular case, what the intention was to so-called masjid ki hifazat karna. This is a one word which is echoing across all the accused who have been apprehended so far, almost 80 of them, and all of them had said that they were there with this one motive to protect the mosque. Whereas upon asking this Mr. Gulam, he said that the main planning was that on the 23rd, they were told by their boss, who is no more in India, he has absconded to Dubai.
Yes.
He told that survey should not take place at any cost.
And
And
that's the point I was coming to. So their boss, the
yeah.
Sharik Sata, he's in Dubai. How is he linked to the violence? What was his instruction to his henchmen?
So basically, on 19th, first time survey took place. After that, we could not conduct the survey because there were election and etc. etc. 24th morning was decided. So in the late 23rd evening, it was conveyed to the Sadar of the Jama Masjid that early in the morning, you please come with your persons and the survey will be conducted. And then the message is spread across the town, and somebody from the town itself, so far we've not been able to trace who that person is. He communicated the same to Sariq Sata, and Sariq communicated the to Gulam through a app called Jangi app. That app doesn't have any huge database. They have deleted everything from that. We'll try to retrieve whatever data they have deleted. Through that Jangi app, he received the instruction that at any cost, service should not take place, and at the same time, one must ensure that this lawyer who keeps on filing petition everywhere, he should be fixed. He should be taught a lesson. And with that motive only, he basically the person called Mullah Afroz, he had given the arms to him and to one another fellow called Waris. And these people came up with these sophisticated weapons, and then they fired upon the public and as well as police.
So was the plot, when you say that lawyer needs to be fixed, are we talking about Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain? And when you say fixed, was there plot to kill Vishnu Shankar Jain because he was fighting the case for the Hindus for the Harihar Mandir there?
Not only Harihar Mandir, there's the narrative is that he keeps on filing cases in several different courts. So yes, absolutely, the motive was to kill him. There are two ways to reach the Jama Masjid. Right behind the disputed site, they lit, I think, three vehicles of police as well as private cars. They were put to fire, and just when they put to fire, we had to withdraw from our positions, but we could not leave the stairs of that mosque. Otherwise, had we vacated those two positions, there would have been a different story, and we all would have been in trouble. And had these rioters entered the disputed site area where the survey was taking place, certainly there would have been a mishap. But police faced the hurling of the stones, as well as we stood the ground there. Ourselves, we got hit, sustained fractures, bullet injuries,
Yes.
but we did not leave that place. That's why Vishnu Shankar Jain was safe, and he could come out and tell the world that the survey was completed, which was directed by the court to conduct the survey. So I would say that it was their motive to go after Vishnu Shankar Jain at any cost. We came in
So,
between.
and had
So
you
we
left that
faced
place, when they started the arson, when they started the violence, the aim was to take the police away that were protecting the entrance to the mosque, and their aim was then to target the advocate in the mosque, would that would have led to riots or violence across the country? Was that the aim? There is apparently some conversation that's taking place on social media platforms also. What evidence have you been able to gather in terms of electronic evidence on the conversations that were happening on these apps?
So they say that on Jangi app, nothing gets registered. The moment the message is seen by the next party, the most messages gets deleted. So there's nothing much we could retrieve, but he accepted that through this app they communicate. Most important part is that when this arson and this so-called firing, and as well as the stone pelting and throwing the tear gas cell back, what the most important thing they did was I, I think destroyed all the CCTV cameras which were there. So that around 9:15, 9:20, they destroyed all the CCTV cameras which were there. After that, they started marching towards the disputed site, which is Jama Mosque. And at the same time, we held two positions. So their main target was to move us away from that place. I think police sustained a lot of injuries, but was successfully conducted the survey. Otherwise, Vishnu Shankar Jain would have been in trouble, and I think the same thing could be also, asked to that lawyer as well, who was in trouble that day.
Oh, absolutely. And that would indicate all of this was very well planned, very well orchestrated. Had the police moved away as their effort was, the consequences, God forbid, could have been disastrous. Mr. Bishnoi, what has been the alleged role of political leaders from that area? A member of parliament, son of a member of legislative assembly. What was their role in this violence? Are they being charge sheeted? Is there enough evidence to prosecute them legally?
The case which is about the conspiracy of in this incident, investigation is ongoing. So there is nothing much I can communicate in that. But certainly on 19th of November, the MP of Sambhal had given a statement, and on 22nd of November, there was a WhatsApp group which we are able to access now. That is Sansad Sambhal, and in that WhatsApp group on 21st night, they had asked a lot of people to gather to that place, and literally we had to work very hard to make peace that day on the Friday, which was Jummah ki Namaz. So it was very tough for us to handle the situation that day. And in that frenzy crowd, he gave a speech to protect the mosque at any cost, and he said that हम किसी भी सूरत में इस जामा मस्जिद की हिफाजत करेंगे और इसको छीनने नहीं देंगे. And that message spread like a wildfire amongst the public, and that's why they could easily motivate people to masjid ki hifazat ke liye the very next day on 24th morning.
Do you see a wider conspiracy here? One charge sheet has been filed. There are other charge sheets that are on their way. We are told several CCTV cameras have been destroyed. People had their faces covered. Have you been able to identify all the writers? Is there clarity on who shot those 5 people and the bodies that were later recovered from the arms and ammunition? Do we have an idea about who the conspirators and the perpetrators were?
We have arrested 2 persons, one Mr. Mullah Afroz, who received these weapons from Ghulam, and another fellow called Waris. He has also been apprehended and sent to jail. These people were recovered with the weapons. They have been sent to forensic lab to ascertain whether the cartridges which were recovered from the incident site do they match with the weapon or not. But these 2 have been arrested, and Ghulam had accepted that the same thing was supplied by Ghulam only. So yes, we have those people who had fired upon these persons. National Security Act, NSA cell, we slept against these persons who had tried to incite violence that day.
And the aim, the wider aim to incite violence. So while they tried, and while several people tried to blame the police, that police used ghair kanuni hathiyar to open fire, what have your investigations revealed? Because we saw the politics around it. Now there are details, and you've carried out detailed investigations. What can you tell us? Who fired? Why? What was the motive? Who killed who on the 24th of November, sir?
Wherever the police was deployed, we had almost 20 correspondents of different newspapers or media outlets. Amongst them were several from Delhi, which were prominent ones. Police was nowhere in the place where they could fire, use country-made weapons. We were in a position where we were facing the stones and all. There is nobody had the time to even grapple with the situation where one could even plan or think of such a things. We could not even process the situation. It was just that the direction. The good thing was that very day, the DM of Sambhal, myself, and my subordinate officers were there, were very brave, and we withstood the situation. Else, it would have been a different story. I myself sustained a bullet injury. So it is very easy to sit on a chair and say that the police can do that. These conspiracy theories are easy to say. When you face a mob of 3,000 persons, everyone throwing stones, and some of them, everybody had their faces covered, I think that is when the real courage comes. And that was a tough day. I hope such days do not come in India. But I am very proud of my boys and the force that day. They put up a very good show, and they protected the minority population of Sambhal, which has always faced the troubles whenever the riots have taken place. almost 16
And that wider
communal riots have taken
conspiracy,
place
sir,
earlier.
that wider conspiracy to target our country and to tarnish, the communal harmony that prevails. Congratulations to you and your team. The first charge sheet has been filed, and we'll be tracking the story very, very closely. Mr. Bishnoi, for joining me here on India Today, many thanks.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you.